Thank you for joining us on History FM Radio on liveparanormal.com and history.fm. From paranormal to the unexplained history, it all happens here. Looking to enhance your radio experience? Participate in live interactive chat 24/7 with our radio show hosts and other like-minded people on www.liveparanormal.com, the only interactive social chat room supported by full interactive media. Stop by now and join in on the fun.
The views expressed here within the programs and chats do not necessarily represent the views of LiveParanormal.com.
You're listening to Live Paranormal Radio at LiveParanormal.com.
Good evening and welcome to Shriekfest Radio. This is Denise Gossett. I am the festival founder and director and your hostess for the night. Shriekfest is currently in its sweet 16th year, so we're going to come up with some cool things for our sweet 16th birthday. The festival is looking like it's going to be October 6th through the 9th, so definitely come on out. Whether you have a project in or not, you must be there. It's a lot of fun, and, we're going to have a good time. So if you are submitting a project, get those in. We just had our first early bird deadline, so you have plenty of time. The next one is May 1st, and we accept feature films, short films, feature screenplays, short screenplays, demo reels. Now, the demo reel category, it can be any genre, and it can be any type. So anything you might need a demo reel for, so it could be acting or directing or cinematography, editing, special effects, makeup effects, anything like that. And the other categories, of course, have to be in the horror, thriller, sci-fi, fantasy genres. And Shriekfest is at shriekfest.com. You can get the entry form there and fill it out. You can email everything to us because we are definitely green. We prefer it that way. So you can email Vimeo links or private links or whatever you may have for your film and your screenplays. You can send those on PDF, so that works out well. And let's see, we're on Twitter. Come give us a follow. We're on Facebook. Come give us a like. We'd appreciate that. We have a newsletter that goes out monthly. You can sign up for that at our website. I'd like to do a shout-out and a thank you to the producers of this Shriekfest radio show, which has been on the air for over 3 years. Our producers are Live Paranormal, and they rock. So thank you, guys. Tonight's call-in number, if you have a question for myself or from my guest, is 619-639-4606, 619-639-4606. Or if you're shy and you would rather not be on the air, you can always email at shriekfest.com, or you can tweet questions to @Shriekfest, and I will periodically glance at those so we can get your questions answered. Very exciting. We have Joe Martinez tonight. He had, him and his brother actually, Will, had an official selection in Shriekfest 2015 called Knock. It's a 6-minute short, great film. So we're going to be talking to him about that here very soon. And, so I'm excited. I haven't talked to Joe since the festival, other than a few emails here and there, so I'll be excited to catch up with him more. And let's welcome Joe to Shriekfest Radio.
Hello, Denise. Thank you for having me on.
How are you? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing well, for sure. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing great as well. I was just telling everyone that you had Knock in Shriekfest 2015. It's a 6-minute short, and we're going to be talking about that very soon. And it's you and your brother, which I think that is so cool. You have a twin brother, and you guys are working together. I mean, that is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Did you guys always... You've always wanted to do?
We've always worked together.
Wow.
You know, my mom will tell you, for better or for worse, we would, you know, you get two boys growing up together, you get in some trouble. But
I'm sure.
Yeah. You know, we as kids we were always creative and actually more focused in visual art. So we were doing a lot of painting and sculpture, stuff like that. And then we kind of discovered, we got really into play, like making plays. We'd gather all the kids in the neighborhood, and we would write these like little plays, and we'd force them to act in it, and and it kind of just kept evolving from there. Yeah,
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so back then when you were doing these plays, did you have any idea that you guys are going to be making films and they were going to be seen, you know, at all these film festivals and?
No, absolutely
no,
not.
I'm sure.
That was a surprise. That was one of those things. We were always artistic, so we grew up in Santa Clarita, which Cal Arts is in our backyard. So we kind of growing up, we always assumed we're going to go to Cal Arts, we're going to get into animation, and then one day we even went to Los Angeles County of the Arts High School. And so we were just kind of bred to, like, we were going to do animation. And then in my senior year, I had a few teachers point out, like, oh, Joe, your art is very cinematic, and it always kind of tells a story. Have you ever thought about filmmaking? Oh. Yeah, you know. So I kind of talked to Will about it, and he was already sold. He was going to major in illustration. He had a scholarship to Art Center in Pasadena. So he was already, foregone conclusion on that. And then I was like, Will, I think I'm gonna do film. He was like, well, you should do it, because every summer vacation we would get our hands on our dad's camera, and we would shoot little horror films. Like, we've always loved horror. So
you're kidding.
I kind of had to do that. Yeah. I had to be, that kid who had to, like, go to mom and dad and be like, hey, I know I was supposed to do this, but I'm going to do this. I didn't have a film portfolio. I didn't have anything. I went to College of the Canyons and worked on my portfolio there, and actually applied to Art Center, got in the film program, and then me and Will collaborated, and we ended up graduating at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's kind of like how we got into it. And then he.
So now, what happened the first time your parents go to watch a family video from vacation and they find a horror film?
Oh man, they've always been super supportive. My mom can't stand horror movies, but my dad, he got us started young. He introduced us to Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and and they kind of grew from there. Yeah, but
that's great.
They've always been supportive. Yeah, my mom.
Do you have any of these films?
Yeah, it's funny. My dad has them all sitting around on a little tape deck, so we watch them once in a while.
Really? So will you guys release them, like, when you're famous, and now this will be your first movies?
Yeah, special features. Why not? Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It's pretty hilarious.
To show your feature, that which I understand you have one that you're getting ready for. To show your feature at Shriekfest, and then right before it, we show, like, your very first movie ever.
Oh, I'm down. I'm so ready to do that.
Wouldn't that be fun? To, like, show the transition of where you guys started and where you are now.
Oh, yeah. And what's even more hilarious is, like, if we couldn't find, like we couldn't force a neighbor kid, we would force our little brother to do it. So it's, like, usually our little brother acting opposite one of us, just trying to do it all,
cute.
Like a 3-man production. Yeah. But yeah, I will do that.
Oh, that is so cute. Now, is your brother, the younger brother, involved in the industry at all? Is he really?
Yeah, we're trying to talk him into it. He's actually doing a lot of. He's majoring in marketing right now. He's about 5 or 6 years younger than us, so he's still in school he's doing his marketing major. So we're like, hey, you should market our movies.
Joe, you guys, the three of you together, you're going to have, like, your own little studio. He's going to handle marketing, and Will's going to handle all the artistic, that sort of side. And it's seriously, this is great.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did the idea come about for Knock?
Oh yeah, that's I'm sure everybody's familiar with those scary stories to tell in the dark books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think growing up they kind of scarred me and Will. Like we have these vivid memories of one of the older kids in the neighborhood reading them, around the campfire, and a couple of them always stuck. And one of them was it was about a witch. It was called what was it called? Anyway, it had this witch called Addie Fitch, and it was very creepy. And it was about you kind of lived in the woods, and you had to knock this nail into the tree to beat her. And so that kind of inspired the feature, which is called American Witch, which Knock was a scene from that. Yeah, and so that kind of built in all this folklore and this witch, she lives in a mine, and there's this tree and things like that. And then Knock is kind of a scene from the first act of the feature. So
really? So
Knock
the exact thing is in the feature.
It was, and then after a few drafts.
Oh no, it's not anymore.
No, it's not anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, it was a tough scene to kill, but I needed to do it to do some more setups and payoffs further down the line. But yeah, Knock was originally a proof of concept for the feature, and it actually worked out well. Yeah, it's definitely gotten some meanings and stuff. So
yeah, it's really well done. It's a tight little story. Like, you would never know it was a proof of concept. Because, sometimes you watch, and we had some at Shriekfest last year, that you knew, okay, they're doing this to raise money for their future. Like, you could tell.
Right.
But I felt like Knock stood on its own.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. Yeah, that was something we strived for, was getting it to feel like a complete package. Like, it can hold up on its own. It's scary. It's got atmosphere. It's got,
Yeah, it totally does, and it's really good. And before I forget to ask you guys, where can people see it? Is it online anywhere? Is it still making the festival rounds?
No, it's online now. You can watch it on Vimeo, but the easiest place to find it would be if you went to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/knockshort.
Okay.
And you'll find links and everything there.
Wonderful. When I was going through things today, I could not believe that you and I and your brother were not friends on Facebook.
Oh.
I don't know how that... what I think happened is around the festival, I think I searched you, and there's so many Joseph Martinez's.
Yes. Believe me.
And I just didn't find you. But today I got smart, and I looked up Knock, and that's how I found you guys.
Okay. Yeah, trust me. I'm named after my father, and so he's also Joseph Martinez, and his father was a Joseph Martinez.
It just keeps going and going and going.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I can't go through customs without getting pulled out of line, because apparently there's a Joseph Martinez that committed a crime, and they're trying to find him. So.
Oh no!
Yeah,
you're like, I swear it's not me. I just make little horror movies.
Exactly.
They're like, wait, horror? Wait, horror?
Yeah. People instantly think you're weird if you're like, oh, I do horror movies. Like, what? What's wrong with you? Like,
I know. We started a new church, and when we first went, I was like, oh man, please don't ask me what I do. And it eventually came up, and I just feel like, did they think like I'm going to hell? Like I'm this evil person?
Yeah, it's always, I think that's why it's such a strong community, because you're like, I found my people, like,
exactly.
We all get it,
Exactly.
Definitely. I can tell you when we went to...
Yeah?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I was going to say, we went to the pre-party for that Shriekfest for you guys, and we got to meet. You walk in, and, the club has all this atmosphere, and everybody's dressed up. You're like, wow, like I feel like I'm home now.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome.
I know. It's perfect, huh? No, what I was going to say is, since we had been going to this church, people have come out of the woodwork telling me how much they love horror. I'm like, really?
Awesome.
You? Yeah, so funny.
It does surprise you, doesn't it? When you find out that people are like, "Oh yeah, I just saw it follows you." Like, "Oh wow, you seriously? Okay."
Right. Well, this one woman, she you would never think, and she messaged me on Facebook, and she's like, "Congrats on getting in Rue Morgue," and I'm like, Wait, what? Oh, wow. How the heck do you even know about? I mean, it's not like Fangoria, which is more American. People know. Right. Even if they're not into horror, they may have heard of it. But when she mentioned Rue Morgue, I'm like, what? Whoa. Well, okay, yeah. You are a horror fan.
That's like a fringe, yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was really surprised. So, so you guys did knock, and and then were you surprised, at the reactions of people? Or did you know, okay, this is going to do well at the festivals? And
I had no expectations, to be honest with you. It was it was one of those things, we made it, and we didn't, we had one of those, gut check moments the night before we shot all the principal photography. We were counting, because Will did all the storyboards, and we're counting the setups, and we're we got 86 setups to shoot tomorrow, and you're how are we going to do that? So then we spent the night, combining things, and then by the end of the shoot day, it went a little long, and everybody's tired, and we were like, dude, do we have a movie here? Is it going to all cut? Is it going to make sense? But it all worked out. We spent a lot of time editing. Had to go do some pickup shots and stuff. But when we showed it to the first audience, the big question was, are they going to get what happened? When we showed it to friends and family, do you understand, exactly what's going on? It came off that she had been under the bed with the witch the entire time.
All right.
And we showed it, and it's always at the same point. It's always when you see that hand, that, gooey black hand holding, Marielle's hand, that people are and you get that gasp, and you're okay, yes, we did it. We got it.
Yeah. We did what we came to do.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And have you seen it with an audience that wasn't necessarily at a horror film festival yet?
Yeah, that actually it premiered at the Pasadena Film Festival, and it was not a horror fans, and
how was that different?
It was a horror block.
It was a horror block. Was it different seeing it at Shriekfest, knowing that the whole audience is your audience?
Yeah, I mean, there was no butterflies at Shriekfest, because it was just it feels almost like a horror summer camp, where you're just hey guys, look what we did over the summer, check it out, show and tell almost,
Right.
It's such a great feeling there. Yeah, definitely in Pasadena, it was do they know horror? It gets kind of, you start asking yourself questions what some of the stuff that came on before Knock was a little less. It wasn't about witches. It was a little bit more of a broad stroke of horror,
Right.
So yeah, but definitely it's nice to be around fans.
Yes, exactly. Now, were you guys heavily involved in every aspect? Were you involved deeply in the casting, or did you know these people already?
Yeah, no. Funny story about that. So the main actors, Ariel and Noelle, they were the sisters. They were just open casting call, and we just auditioned them, and we clicked right away, and we kind of went along with them. The woman that played Ika Crombie, the witch under the bed, that was my good friend's fiance, Ashley, and she had told me, I told her, I'm going to shoot this horror film, and she was like, Joe, it is on my bucket list. I want to be a ghoul in a horror film. And I was well, if you want, you can be my witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that is funny.
she was up for it. And of course she got all she had never acted before, and so she got a little nervous when it came to shoot day, but I think once Ann Jeanette, our makeup person, got her all fixed up, she kind of became the character, and she was rehearsing scary looks in the mirror, and she did a great job.
Yes,
but yeah.
That's so funny, on my bucket list.
Yeah. It was. She said she kept thanking me all the time. She's always thanking me. She's like, "Thank you for absolutely," and she did a great job. So
yeah.
it was, she has those green eyes too that I think help make it scary.
Right. Now, what made you decide to keep it like 6 minutes? I mean, because 6 minutes is nice and tight. It's a great, amount of time especially for festivals.
Yeah, I think this is my second horror film that I did, and the first one, short film, and the first one was about 15 minutes all in, and I just felt like it was good, it was solid, but it feels like it dragged just a little bit in certain areas, and so going into Knock, I knew I wanted it tight and simple, and almost like a scary stories to tell in the dark kind of story, where it's very clean and you just get it and boom, 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 and quick, nice payoff at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you enjoy writing? Like when you sat down, do you enjoy writing?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say I'm a writer first and the director second, for sure.
Really?
Yeah,
and,
I've always been.
Okay, so writing features too, or mostly just shorts so far?
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I wrote everything. It was mostly short stories and poetry, and then I would get into, I would write, whatever I felt like, and then when I went to film school, that's when I started writing feature scripts, and that's when I was like, okay, this is what I want to focus on.
Man, I just wish, I sat down and I tried to write several times. It's just not in me. I just don't enjoy it.
Really?
It's funny because I found a few things I wrote years ago, and I looked and I'm like, oh, hey, this isn't bad. The whole time I was thinking, God, this is crap. But I just don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any tips for me on how to like it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you kind of find what you enjoy, if it's acting or directing, and then you that creative process. I think I can. My trick is I see the same process in my writing as I do in the directing, as I do in the editing, because I edit as like my day job is editing, like so it's working the same muscles. If I just have to kind of tweak it just a little bit, and it all kind of clicks in there for me. But it's
so you edited Knock too, and I See You.
Yes.
So, do you find it hard to cut out stuff you shot, or when you're shooting, are you cutting in your head?
I'm definitely cutting in my head. Knock was a little less so. Knock, I was living in Hong Kong at the time, and Will wasn't he wasn't ready for me. Like he was living over here, so we couldn't have the same relationship we did on Knock. But so that one was a little more loose. But then I knew when I got back to the U.S. I was gonna use Will, and we were just basically shooting to edit. But then in the end, we ended up, because of what I explained about the 86 setups and how we had to kind of trim things and make sure we got it in a wide rather than getting in and getting what we needed to satisfy the boards. It kind of, when I did my assembly edit, and it didn't click for me, and so I let my friend Sean Hedges, he's also got editing credit. He took which I thought was great. He took it and he just cut it how he wanted. I didn't give him any direction or anything, and he gave it back to me. And I saw it in a completely new light, and it was actually a great experience. Yeah, it actually cleared up a lot of these problems and things, and it was actually really cool. Actually, probably for the next short I do, I'm probably going to try to not edit it and just try to get away from it for a second and then see it completely fresh.
Well, it's got to be extremely difficult because, I see all these submissions, and that's often one of the biggest complaints is things just aren't tight enough. They don't move the story along. They drag.
Right.
And and I understand it. It's your baby. You shot it. You want to keep it. You love that scene, whatever. And it's got to be so hard to say, you know what? It's not working.
Yeah, exactly. Killing your darlings, as they say.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. Yeah, it's something that you deal with at every level, though. I think is in your writing, and then if you and then on the shoot day, and then you go and edit, and then everything it's just part of the magic of the screen of filmmaking.
I guess that's why we have DVD extras, right?
Yeah, and you get the director's cut. Yeah, exactly.
Right. You had to put all the extra stuff there, so it's not wasted. Yeah. So you got to use it, even though you didn't in the final product.
Right.
So now, Knock is going to be a feature. Have you guys started shooting yet? Where are you guys at on this?
Yeah, so we're trying to get funding, and so we're going about different avenues with that, and we've talked to a few producers, and it's gone off to a few production companies and things, but nothing's really getting going. The script, I put it up on the blacklist, and it got some good numbers there, so it's getting some interest, but it's not quite getting bites. So I'm feeling like I don't know if I have a few producer friends that are telling me, oh, this is like a $3 million movie if you want to make this. I'm like, eesh. I don't think I can swing that myself.
Right.
But the other thing is can you do it super indie for $100,000? Even then, it's still trying to knock on friends and family's doors and stuff. But
right.
It's in the meantime, I've moved on to a second feature script that I'm writing, and then I'm gonna just do the same process: pull a scene, and then shoot the short, and keep getting it out there. Just keep churning out the work.
Now, do you find because you have the short version of Knock, essentially a short version of Knock, do you feel that really helps when you're showing people who potential investors, or do you feel like it doesn't?
Definitely.
Definitely.
No, I think in the meetings that I've had, it's always been a great thing. I think because people, it's tough to get it off the page, and if you're not in the room pitching, they can't quite see it and ask you questions. But if you say, here, check out this link, they can look, when they get the email, they can look when they get home, they can look next week, they have this time with it, and they can watch it and appreciate it. And, it obviously helps if it does well in festivals and things, and if people are more, likely to open the email. So.
Right, and I would imagine you probably want to direct, and so then that shows them that you know what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, okay, so there was a Shriekfest film, a short, done same sort of reason, and I fell in love with this short. And when I got the feature script to peek at, that scene had been cut, just like you're saying. And I got to tell you, I was really bummed. I didn't feel like the feature had the same oomph as that short did. Have you heard anything like that? I mean, I haven't read your script, so I don't know exactly where it's going.
Yeah, no.
But have you heard anyone say, oh, well, why isn't it like the short?
No, I think the essence of it is all there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely in the spirit of Knock, and the feature has a lot of oomph, and it is a, if you thought that the short was scary, the feature is 10 times that when it gets when she gets to the mine to save her little sister. It's very intense. It's very.
Well, let's get this baby made. Anybody out there listening with money?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Yeah,
we got the team set up, so yeah.
Now, do you think you guys will do a fundraising thing, Indiegogo or anything?
I don't know. I don't know if I have. I have a full-time job, and I think it's tough to. I couldn't give it the due diligence that it needs.
Right.
To just,
I've heard it's pretty brutal to try to get those.
Yeah, I have friends that have done it, and to some success, and it's just they give it everything they have, and I would love to. I would love to try, but I need to find a producer that believes in the project and everything, and that would be a huge help. Even just getting Knock off the ground with myself producing was a full-time job, so I couldn't imagine doing the feature. Yeah.
Wow. Now, okay, so what advice would you give someone? So let's say they have a script, whether it's a short or a feature, and what advice what would be your first steps of what to tell them to do?
If they had the script and they were looking to produce
it,
or to...
not necessarily the funding yet, or... any advice for...
Yeah, I mean, I think if you write it and you're passionate about it, that's you're ready, and then from then you make a plan of how am I going to get from A to B and then B to C. I knew that when I had the feature of Knock, and then I knew exactly what scene was going to be the short. Then I was like, okay, so what's the next problem? You just kind of you work big to small. You make it manageable, and I just saved all my money, and I credit cards and self-funded Knock, and then it took a while, but I got there, and then I think it gives you actually, when you invest your own money, you really, really, really try to do a good job because it's a little more personal. But I think that would be my biggest advice is just you have the passion, you want to do it. Look at the big picture and then break it down into smaller, manageable chunks, and just do it. Work every day. Find an hour or two to dedicate to it.
Yes, I'm big on that. I always tell people it doesn't matter what it is, and people come with all these excuses of why they can't do it. And I always say, I don't care if you spend 15 minutes every day. You're going to be closer to your goal at the end of the year. And if it comes down to money, lack of money, really, all that does is make you more creative.
Absolutely. Yeah, you work within the confines of what you have, for sure.
Yep. Now, would you self-produce or self-fund, rather, a project again? Did you think it was worth doing?
Yeah, I think I would. I would, but I think every shoot you get a little smarter and you learn a little bit, you get more savvy with money. So I definitely saw some areas where I can tighten it up, a little bit more.
Right.
A great tip is just to always shoot in a location that a friend's house. I shot Knock at my friend's house. You find little corners to cut where you're like, okay, I'll buy you a beer.
And are you still friends with this friend?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
He was a huge fan. He is actually not a horror fan at all, and he's not in the industry in any way, shape, or form. But he loves seeing the cameras and the crew and the lighting go up and the makeup, and he was just having a great time. So he loved it. I took him out to a nice dinner afterwards. So it's all
nice. Nice. Now, earlier you mentioned passion, which I strongly believe that. If you're fired up about something, you can get anything done. Yeah. And, I always have people approaching me about producing their projects, and I always say the same thing. Look, if I'm going to spend years, because let's face it, if you're doing a feature, it's going to be several years. From pre-production to post, and then getting it out there, and it's going to be years. If I'm going to spend years on something, it's got to be something that A, I star in, and B, that I'm so passionate about. Because otherwise, can you imagine if you said yes to a project that you were just mediocre on? By the time year one is out, you're going to be like, just shoot me now. I cannot work on this project any longer, Yeah, no, that's true. That's what gets you through those tough times, like when you're shooting 15 hours or something, and you're just you do it for that goal of I believe in this, I want to see it made. Right. And when things get rough, like, okay, here comes an unexpected cost or issue, then you love it so much that you got to get it done no matter what.
Yeah, you'll find a way.
Yeah. So
I've been fortunate enough to just find like a solid team of people that just we all work well together and we all get on board with the same thing, and it's always been good.
Yeah, that's really nice. Because can you imagine? I mean, with Shriekfest, it took me for years and years and years to, compile a team. Like I would have a few people here and there that were great, and then some that weren't great, and I just can't imagine doing a film. And you can see why people use the same crew all the time.
Yeah.
You kind of get in a rhythm.
Putting on something like Shriekfest is a lot like a feature film where it's just a group of people. It's all organization, logistics. It's passion. It's everything.
Yeah. I think that's why I keep getting asked to produce. I think people are like,
exactly.
"Well, she could do a festival."
You can, absolutely. I believe it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so very, very excited about this feature, especially if it's even scarier because I love
Knock. It is scary, and it's all. I'm very into the suspense build of scary. It's the feature has its gory moments, but I don't pride myself on that. To me, it's all about that slow build of tension and then that payoff. But it's pretty good.
Nice. And so you're going to direct?
That's the plan. Yeah.
Nice. But you don't think you're going to edit this time?
I probably will end up doing it. I mean, I've been editing such a long time now. It's hard for me just to turn it off. But I like to give free rein to somebody,
Right.
But definitely I will take a back seat for sure.
And Will is going to storyboard and all. What else
Will
is he gonna?
We're just firm collaborators. Like he's been in the process, from I'll just bounce story ideas off of one another, and we collaborate and get that hammered away. I always end up writing it, but he's the guy that I go to for like, hey, read this draft. What do you think? Okay, change that. Okay, let me go back.
Nice.
And then of course he's a very talented artist, so he storyboards and even the color. He was a big part of the color correction and everything like that. So.
Wow.
And he's actually trying to move into cinematography. He's got his color theory down. Like he knows everything about space and color and composition, and so he's trying to translate that into cinematography. So
I'm telling you, it's going to be Martinez Studios. All three of you working together.
Yeah, I would love it.
That is really cool. Well, it sounds, really, it does sound like you guys have the ground level ready to go. It's just a matter of, getting some cash and getting these things made. And I see big things for you guys.
I love it. Thank you very much.
I'm predicting, Joe.
Yeah.
I think big things are coming your way.
Awesome.
So, so you're working hard on trying to get that going. And you said you started writing another feature. Is it a horror as well?
Yeah, of course it is a horror. It's this one is a little different. It's about it's a haunted house. So again, I'm thinking I'm putting my producer hat on, and I'm like, okay, only one location.
One location, baby.
Yeah. This one is pretty much it's The Shining meets The Exorcist, I guess is the best way to frame it. But so it's a little departure from witches and a mine, but it's definitely creepy, scary stuff. Yeah,
it sounds good. Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to describe it when you're pitching to people, because everybody knows those movies.
Exactly.
Nice. Were there any crazy things that came up during the shoot of Knock where you things were going so great, and then all of a sudden it's like, are you kidding me? Did any equipment go bad? Anything crazy happen, or was it smooth sailing?
Nothing. Well, it was on the shoot night actually went smooth as I could have hoped for. Like I said, we had such a huge day, and we all pulled it together and knocked it out of the park. And then the only little hiccup. So after we sat and we watched the edit, we felt like it needed a beginning. Like we needed to set up the mine early on. So we decided we were going to shoot that scene where Muriel walks up and knocks on the mine, and then she screams and runs. And our schedules were horrible, and we didn't know how we were going to get that shot. And we had this gigantic, it must have been a 300-pound door that we built out of railroad ties that was the mine door. And we had to, so that was sitting in my friend's house in his backyard for weeks in Woodland Hills. And we had to, me and Will were like, all right, we need to shoot this scene. And he did a matte painting for it, but we needed it to be on, I kind of have this, the surroundings needed to be like dirt, basically. So we knew we had to lean it on a hill somewhere. And the only hill we could think of was a hill back in Castaic, where the town that we grew up in. So
how do you move it?
We drove down. We borrowed my dad's truck. We broke down this gigantic thing. Me and Will are big guys, so it was, it wasn't too bad. But we threw it in the truck. We drove it up to Castaic. We rebuilt it in this little creek bed. And then we called up my actress, and she was, very sweet. And we were like, we need you to come out and shoot this 10 minutes. Just need you 10 minutes. She drove all the way out there. It was summertime. We shot day for night. And we were pouring sweat, and we were trying to get this shot on this funny little tripod that we had on my friend's 7D. And we originally shot in red. We shot red 4K, and we ended up getting the pickup shot in this little 7D in the middle of summer, and we were sweating.
Oh,
it was crazy, but yeah, it all worked out. I mean, I think
a lot of correction there afterwards, huh?
Oh yeah, and it speaks to Will's talent. He that guy can paint, so he got to it, and I think it's a great way. I think when that first shot opens up and you look at this scene, I always hear a couple of gasps in the audience. They're like, "Whoa! This is something scary is happening here." It all worked out. Yeah, it really did.
And then what'd you do? Did you leave the door there, or did you take it apart again?
We tried to break it down. We couldn't. We had to get back to work. We had to shoot it before work. We were like, dude, we gotta go. So we came back to get the door, and somebody else had already torn it down. There was somebody actually. Funny enough, there was a giant tree house, and next to this creek bed. And we saw some of the parts of our door was incorporated in the treehouse. We're like, all right, repurposed wood, that's cool, go for it. I can't keep it at my friend's house.
That quickly?
Yeah.
Oh my! So some people got there and were like, perfect. This wasn't here the other day. Let's use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Yeah, you can't leave your set laying around anywhere, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. I was like, if your kids want to have fun, go for it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this 300-pound door. Actually, we had this
and now we don't have to haul it.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to haul it to film festivals. Because how cool, what a photo op. We can set it up, this creepy door with the thing, and it says knock, and the whole cast and crew, we signed it. And it had some really cool bits to it. But yeah, whatever.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
So it's part of a tree house.
Yeah.
I love it. So you were talking about... Yeah. Hey, you mentioned in your bio that Will works at Disney Imagineering?
That's what he does. Makes dreams come true. Yeah.
That's so funny. And so he is an artist over there.
Yeah, he's the guy that designs the rides. He does conceptual design for the rides and stuff.
That's cool. My husband used to work at Disney Imagineering doing the finance side for the theme parks. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, they might have run into each other at some point.
I know. And I used to go, you know how they have classes and they'll have people come in different costumes and they just practice, I guess. I used to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I first moved to LA, oh gosh, 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I would go and I'd wear different costumes. Yeah, so we missed each other. But yeah, so that's pretty fun. And I was always blown away how quickly I'd get up there and how quickly they could draw me.
Oh yeah, no, the best of the best over there for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So before we run out of time, I want to make sure, where can people find you? If they've got, that $3 million that they'd like to throw at you, where can people find you and just say hello and admire your work? And where are you on Twitter, Facebook? You mentioned Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is probably the best way to find me and get in touch with me. There's also, like, on Vimeo, you can find Knock. If you search Knock Joseph Martinez, it'll pop up. Yeah, that's the best way. I'm not on Twitter very much. I need to get better about that. But,
yeah, you do, because I have some homework for you.
Okay.
You didn't know you were going to come on the show and get some homework, did you?
I did not expect that, no.
Yeah, your homework is Twitter. And I need you to use it more often, and the reason is it's unbelievably valuable for you guys starting out like this, because you've already got a couple films under your belt. You're going to develop this fan base, and they need to know what's going on with you guys. So your homework is to start tweeting more often.
Okay, I can do that.
And yes, because you will be amazed at how quickly you can build up this fan base. And now let me just make an example for you guys. You're trying to get this money for your feature, and let's say you went to potential investors, and you were able to say, I've got 15,000 followers on Twitter. I've already developed a fan base that they're waiting for my next project. Believe it or not, it's important.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
I mean, did you know that, let's say it came down to me for a role and another woman, and that other woman had 15,000 followers on Twitter and I had 2. They're going to take her, which is so absurd, but that's the world we're in now.
It's absurd, but it completely is, yeah.
Yeah. So that is why. That is your homework. I want you to tweet things, and I want you to tweet to @Shriekfest, because I'll retweet it. I have a few fans. Of course, they're going to be interested in what you guys are doing, and just start building it. And, even if it doesn't help with the getting the finances, when it's out, holy smokes, they're going to help you spread the word about your feature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's your homework. And not just to tweet about you guys, but, retweet other people's stuff. It becomes, a lot of people from Shriekfest 2015 that you would have met are on there, and they're constantly supporting each other. Oh, and if you are not on the Facebook group Shriekfest 2015, go.
I believe I am.
Okay, good.
I think I am.
Oh, good. So you see all those people. All those same people are on Twitter, and they're constantly retweeting each other's stuff and helping each other. It's a large community.
Yeah. It
Take
really
advantage.
is a great community. Yeah.
I know, isn't it?
I'm going to prioritize that.
I have people asking if they can join that group, and I'm like, no, it's just for the filmmakers and the screenwriters from that year. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, they've got a community going, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So good. I'm glad you're on there. What?
I like how it's exclusive, because it encourages people, like, okay, if you want to be part of the club, you gotta make some content and put it out there. And,
right.
It's good motivation. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I'll see some of the posts on there, and people talk about how they weren't sure about something, or someone took the time and read their script and gave them some feedback, and now they're going into production on their short, or what. It's just, I think it's so cool. You guys are so awesome. And Really proud of you guys. So that's your homework. Tell Will he needs to do it too.
Yeah, I'll get on his. Yeah, I'll let him know.
And then any word you hear, I don't care if it's like we got a tiny bit of funding or this happened. I want you to let me know. Feel free to post it on the Facebook page, tweet it to me. I'm going to help spread the word. I'll help you guys get the word out as much as I can. If you decide to do like a social media fundraising, some sort of thing, let me know. I will help, okay?
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been great.
Definitely. I had a lot of fun.
Is there anything that we didn't get to talk about that you would love to talk about?
I mean, I would love to. Will has a project. He has his own project, and it's food zombies. It's about food that has risen from the plate to attack humankind. And he's got all these great illustrations. If you really want to see his talent, if you really want to see his talent, just go on Instagram and check out Food Zombies.
Now, is it animated?
Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, ideally, we want to do an animated TV show. But but for now, it's just he's got stickers and he's got these cool. We did a poster. We have a Cobb Zombie poster. If you're fans of Rob Zombie, we have a corn on the Cobb Zombie. It's a lot of fun, cool stuff like that. We got a cheeseburger and a burrito and sushi and all kinds of fun stuff.
Now that is the perfect thing to tweet pictures.
Oh yeah.
Of this
and
get the excitement going. I love it because it's about genetically modified food, and I am huge advocate against that crap. So I love this. I think it's so exciting you guys are doing this.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun coming up with creepy food monsters. So.
I'm sure. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, and there's so many. Well, think of like broccoli. I mean, you could go crazy with some of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff is creepy in its own right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is fun. Yeah, definitely keep me posted on that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be funny. And is it something like you want to do it for TV show, or is it going to be film?
Yeah, well, we think our first crack is probably going to be a short animated film, and just to get it out there and get people seeing it, and then we'll use that to pitch, try to get it on TV or something. So
perfect. That's really cool. Well, there's so many zombie things on TV too, and this is something new and different.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, it's got an 80s throwback vibe, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It's
right.
Yeah, Will has spent a lot of time. It's his baby, so yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, tell him that I missed having him on tonight, and we will have to do this again in like 6 months and have you guys both on. For
sure. It'll be a little disorienting because we have the same exact voice, but it's...
Oh, seriously? So I'm going to be who said that?
Exactly. Yeah, I'll have to be like, this is Joe talking, and he'll be like, this is Will talking.
Right. You'll have to just say your name before you speak. That's so funny.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, thank you again, and if I can help out with anything, please don't hesitate to ask. And I hope to see you guys back at Shriekfest soon.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, yeah.
And even if you don't have anything this year, come back, please.
Oh,
come
definitely.
To the party, enjoy, check out the film.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Joe.
Cool.
And we will chat soon.
Absolutely.
Okay, you have a great night.
All right, you too. Bye.
Okay, thanks. That was great having him on. Cool things happening for them. I love that they have this food zombie TV show that they're getting ready to do. I think that sounds really, really funny. If you haven't seen Knock, like he said, you can go to their Facebook page, and all the links to everything is right there. It's a really good 6-minute film, nice and tight. So if you're into starting to learn to filmmake, check it out, because the tighter films are more likely to get in festivals and stuff. Just keep that story moving along. So we haven't had time lately for me to do my little bit of Denise time at the end of the show because the interviews have been going longer than usual. So I have a little time tonight, so I would like to chat a little bit. This is a new year. We're already in February, if you can believe it. And I really hope that you guys are, writing down your goals, breaking them down to baby steps, doing a little baby step every day or every other day, however you can fit it into your schedule, or break those baby steps down even to even tinier steps and, do something every day to pursue your goal. I heard this quote, "You become what you think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time." So, if you are in a rut and you're hating your job and all you're thinking about is hate, 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 that is what you are becoming. That is what you are drawing to you. We don't want that. So, you need to make a change. This is a good year for change. I feel like people come up with words for their year. I feel like my word this year is progress. I've been busting my butt for so many years for things that I feel like this is the year I'm going to actually see it all come to fruition with my acting career. So I'm very excited about that. We got to start changing the way we think. I mean, we're all hard on ourselves. We're our worst critics, and you got to remember that whatever you're putting out there, you're going to draw right back to you. So think about that. Think about what you're saying to yourself. Think about if you are in a job that is miserable, find some way to like it. Find something you can enjoy. You have to until you get to the point where you can get out of that job. It all comes down to how we see things, how we react to things. Only you can let something affect you. I know it sounds easy to do. It's not. Believe me, I know too. But only we can control how we react to things. And if we are thinking positive things and thinking happy things and making sure we feel good and life is going well and we're doing the best with what we have, good things are going to come back to us instead of negativity. I am so tired of negativity. It's really hard to be on Facebook, as you all know, because there's so much negativity. I get to the point where I tune it all out or I don't even want to look at it. It's sad because we don't need to be that way. So write those goals down. Break them down in baby steps. Start working. Work your heinies off. It's already February. Let's not waste any more time this year. I'd love to hear how you guys are pursuing your goals and what's going on with it. So, email me, drop me a line. I'd love to hear it. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. We're about out of time. Have a great, great week, and I'll see you back here next week. Good night.
You're listening to Live Paranormal Radio at liveparanormal.com.
Required listening with Amazon Music.
Dad music again?
The greatest guitarist of all time.
Wait, who?
Alexa, add this song to a new playlist.
Sure, what's the new playlist name?
Jack's Intro to Classic Rock.
Adding Stepping Stone by Jimi Hendrix to Jack's Intro to Classic Rock playlist.
Amazon Music, the simplest way to listen to the music you and soon he will love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at AmazonMusic.com. Renews automatically, cancel anytime. Required listening with Amazon Music.
Dad music again?
The greatest guitarist of all time.
Wait, who?
Alexa, add this song to a new playlist.
Sure, what's the new playlist name?
Jack's Intro to Classic Rock.
Adding Stepping Stone by Jimi Hendrix to Jack's Intro to Classic Rock playlist.
Amazon Music, the simplest way to listen to the music you and soon he will love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at AmazonMusic.com. Renews automatically, cancel anytime.